don't be comfortable. Don't
Mm.
expect that things are going to be the same way ever. And we all learned with that when COVID happened, right? That I think that's the biggest learn for everybody. You were too comfortable and now life changed. And now what? Find your other passion. You have one passion, you can have two. What is it? Find it, look and start preparing yourself in that passion. Even if you're performing, doesn't matter. Take that time and start building that passion.
Welcome to Recast and Rise, the podcast for performers and creatives ready to explore what's next. You'll hear inspiring stories of artists who reinvented themselves and found new careers after the stage. Let's recast and rise. Vanessa, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today.
It is. And I'm loving that you're doing this, and thank you for inviting me. Yes. Awesome.
You and I, we met in Las Vegas.
That's it.
Yeah, you were actually the dance master when I was an artist in the show.
Yeah, at the Beatles Love.
What a journey.
What a journey. Yes. I was there for 3.5 years, just right before COVID happened. So yeah, that's how we met. It was fun.
And COVID.
So funny.
Oh, wow. I want to talk about COVID as well, because I know it impacted all of us, but you also particularly. But before we talk all about that, all the career transition, tell us what you were doing as a performer. All the things. Go.
All the things. Okay. How I started originally from Puerto Rico, right? And then I started at 10 years old, a little bit later than the usual ages. And I started in this school called Julian Blanco in Puerto Rico, which is academic and a ballet mostly. It was based in ballet. So I was there until I graduated from high school. Then I went to professional level, but my background is ballet. And then I did the two professional company back in Puerto Rico. And there was another one, contemporary dance company that I joined for a couple of years. Then I retired at my 24, 25 years old and opened my own dance studio there for, I don't know, I think it was maybe 3 years until I got offered a dance contract for a new show that was doing in Vegas, created for Havana Night, all Latin people. So I got that contract. I just decided, you know what, let's just come back to the dance career because I was retired. And I said, I'm going to try it. So that's how I moved to Vegas with totally different company and then very Latin. And the show lasts for a year and a half. So I was out of job and I was like, I'm going to try Cirque. So I was like, I went to the audition, went into the pile of casting. And then a couple of months later, Cirque called me. And that's when the Cirque journey started without thinking. I never thought I'm going to make a Cirque because Cirque is for the pro. And then, but yeah, I did. And I was with Cirque for, until COVID, almost 15 years. And then did different shows. And within Cirque, I started as a dancer, but I learned so much. I learned how to do aerial. I learned how to do characters. So I did 5 shows in Vegas and then all different character, different things. So that's, I feel, where I grow the most with Cirque du Soleil because I was eager to learn. I was like, I want to learn this. How can I do it? And then I was trying always to find the opportunity to learn. And then that's how I become from dancer to maybe aerialist, and I did a little bit of character with Cirque. And then, after my last show as a performer was Sarcana, and I wasn't sure if I was ready to move on or not, feeling it. But then I started looking for more the administration part, what I can do in administration part with Cirque that it can help me. So I was doing little things. And then I did a couple of gigs that they have, like the one drop as a stage manager and different areas, different department within the company. And then the opportunity of dance master appeared. And then I got it. Inquired to apply. I'm like, okay, I want to apply. And then I got it. So that was like the journey, right? But basically, I'm a dancer that become a little bit of aerial and character during my journey. So, yeah.
I did not know that you did stage management and all that. We'll come back to that. That is so great.
Yeah. Yes.
That is also part of when you transition into another career. And I talk about this a lot. It's to try different things. And So then if you don't like it, all right, next.
This is what I always say, especially when I had the dance master position, when I was working with all of you, that some of you were transitioning, some of you were new. And I always say, look for something that you can see yourself after this. What do you like? And then find those opportunities to train yourself within the company. Because the company, I'm talking about Cirque, because the company will give you those opportunities if you want it. Of course, forget about the paid. Forget about, oh, they're not paying me. And then this is what I always try to tell the new artists. Not everything is going to be paid at this moment. Find those opportunities that are paid down the road, but you have the experience. And that's what I tried to create. I was like, okay, I want to follow a stage manager, what they do, and I follow it. And then an opportunity came to One Drop and they asked me, absolutely. I want to be a stage manager because I want to see how that feels, because I want to see if I can do one stage, that career later on. And then I offered to be assistant of the choreographer to see, can I be a dance master down the road without even knowing that can be a possibility, right? So trying to find where is my position that I would love to be when this amazing career performance finish, because it's going to finish at some point. And then it's better if you prepare yourself within that journey that you're in, within the umbrella that we are all, and see what other opportunities I can do in here that I feel my gap when I'm not on stage anymore. And that's how I feel as how the smarter way to do it in that way.
That transition, when you're talking about One Drop, you were stage manager, you were done performing at that time, yes?
No, I wasn't. I was
Great.
performing.
This is what I
was
love.
Still performing.
That's another example that you were still performing and you were curious. You were looking to not necessarily transition right away, but like experimenting. Okay, let me try this. And while performing, and absolutely love.
And the thing is, I know it's hard because then you have to commit with your performer, your training, and another gig that are not paying you, because that's sometimes the mentality is, no, they're not paying me. Doesn't matter. But the thing is, you have to do it for you, right? You have to do it. You have to step out of the bulb and be like, okay, what about if I can be in this position down the road so I can already have that experience? And in my case, for example, like we were training, I think I was in Sarcana when I did the volunteer stage manager, and we had training, and then I had to go to training and the show, but our artistic director was very flexible. If I had to go into some training for One Drop and interfere with my training, they always work around, right? I always say, you have to be clear with your goals. And I said, I want to do this. Can you help me? Because down the road, it's a beneficial for the company too. If they're training somebody, which was my case, they give me opportunity in the administration part, and then they hire me to that position as dance coach. So it's a win-win. But you always have to be honest. That is what you want. Because if you go with lies, or if you go to try to like, oh, I'm going to do this to get this, then that's not cool. You always have to be honest. This is what I would love to do because of this. And they always, majority, they give that opportunity for you, for sure.
So you are 24, you open your studio, and then move to Las Vegas, transform your life. What did you do with the studio? It must have been your baby at the time. Tell me about that transition.
Very tough. So I owned the studio with my sister. So we both decided, we both were fairly young. And then we did it because we love dance. She used to dance too. So we opened it together and we managed to survive for 3 years. Financially, it was very tough. It was like we were on the limit, right? We were like, okay, how? Because we didn't have maybe the maturity to understand business, and it's a business, not it's a baby that we put a lot of money. We're like, doesn't matter. So that's how we were. And then I had to work on top of the hours that I had through the studios. It was very hard for me, like financial. I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to deal with this. Anyway, so the opportunity came to do this audition to Las Vegas, and it opened that one that I was retired, which I knew I did want to dance. And the director of the company said, you either take this contract, or it's getting too late because you're going to be 27 or whatever, 25. And by the moment that I got the contract, so it stuck in my mind, and I said, I have to do it. I have to do it. If not, this is the opportunity that is going to close in my life, and I'm going to regret it as a performer. So I sat with my sister. It was tough at the moment because we're working together, but she stayed with the studio. So she continued with the studio with one of my brother, and then they managed to work maybe like another 2 or 3 years, and then she sold the studio, and then she moved to Vegas. So everything went like it's supposed to be. So it's like one of those things that is, this is meant to be, and I feel it, and I have to do it. And yet it was a hard decision, but I don't regret it because it opened who am I, and it wouldn't be sad if I look back and I said, what about if? And this is always a message. And I always say, the opportunities that always came to your life, you have to study because sometimes it's coming once and then that's it. So then you will be like, okay, at least I did it. Rather if it was not good or not bad or not as good as you thought, or you can say, I did it and I don't regret it. You should always, every opportunity that is in front of you, evaluate it, check. And if your heart say this is just go for it. Don't think about it. Don't think twice. Go for it. And that's what I have to do back in Puerto Rico.
Chapter 1 of your life, Puerto Rico, 2, Vegas.
Yes, that's right. I feel like I
Second.
lived 3 lives.
And 3,
life in Puerto Rico, life in Vegas, and now Canada.
Canada.
The next one is my retire that I'm hoping that I live in Hawaii. Warmer weather,
I'll come visit.
I know.
I'll come visit.
Love it. Absolutely. Yeah. So that was very tough. Yeah. But it was the right decision at the moment.
And I'd love for you to talk about, so you're in Vegas, you're the dance master, then all the things happen, right? COVID and everything.
COVID.
What happened then? Because now you live in Canada. Talk to us about this transition.
Absolutely. So when I was in Vegas, I was dance master of the Beat of Love. I loved the job, very challenging job. I learned so much, like the good and the bad, right? And then COVID happened. We were sitting in the kitchen, my husband and I, after almost 6 months that all the show shut down. We knew, my husband is Canadian, we knew at some point we would love to do a move to maybe live in Canada or somewhere that we want to raise our kids, that it wouldn't be Vegas. For some reason, I always say, okay, I want to raise my kids it's another place, right? Where I'm coming from Puerto Rico, where it's nature and water. And so I want my kids have that experience. So we sat down and we're like, I think this is a moment that maybe we can try that move and see what happened. And I was like, let's do it. So we pack within a month, like thinking what we can do. His family live here in this town in Canada. We're like, let's pack 5 suitcases, put the dogs in the car, cross the border in the middle of COVID. We didn't even know if we wouldn't be able to cross. And we did. And we moved here I will say that was October 1st, 2020. By January, I was like, I think this is it. And I never experienced a winter. So like that changed it. And I embraced everything. And it was another tough decision to be like, this is what I want for my kids and for my family. And then it was tough because then I had to do a resignation for the dance master. I had to tell them, my family, this is happening, sell the house in Puerto Rico while we're living here. But it was another thing that it felt right. It felt that if I don't do this, I will never know how it happened. I'd rather go do it and be like, was the worst, and we can come back. But if I don't do it, how am I going to know? That's how I felt. Same decision when I left to the studio in Puerto Rico. Same decision. It felt what we are in the right position. This is what we're looking for. And yet there's many things that I'm losing. I'm losing my job, which I start feeling stronger. I start feeling that I'm like getting that dance master that I wanted it. Then my family and the house we bought in a year ago. So I'm losing a lot of things, but I was like, we're losing a lot, but down the road, 5 years from now, we're going to gain more. Because it was the uncertainty, as we know in COVID, was everything. We don't know. What about if the show doesn't come? What about if the show closed? And then all the things. So I'm rather be like, okay, I'm going to make this decision now because I don't know these things are come and then I will be regretting this opportunity. But
Yep. You know what I love about this is it sounds like you made the decision not based on fear. It's the opposite. There was a lot of things
it was a lot of uncertainty. It was a lot of what am I doing? Like we both have an amazing job. We have to resign to those jobs without nothing. We did not have here. I'm not even a Canadian. I can't even work. And I was like, I will figure out. I will figure out. And also, I feel that the big drop or the big decision was having kids as life change, right? And I said, I'm making a decision here, not only for me, for my kids, because my opportunities I already explored my opportunities. Now I have to look for safety, for better environment for them, for those things that I was looking for my kids. And I feel that it was the biggest one. Yep. Not only for myself. So my decision was not only me, it was a decision I will see the product in 5 years from now, 6 years from now, and I will be like, this was worth it. Yep. Or no, I didn't know.
And it is worth it because now you opened your dance studio, the Grand Fort Performing Arts Studio. Congratulations. Yep.
Thank you.
That's incredible. Tell me about that transition. So you were mentioning that you could not work in Canada and now you have that studio. What was the transition there?
It was so much. Now that I'm talking with you, I'm like, how we did it? Well, I don't know. We just did it. We had the amazing support of my husband family, right? So they helped us a lot in that transition. I couldn't work for a year and a half because I'm not Canadian citizen. So he was working locally. And then I applied for my Canadian citizen. So after a year and a half, I got the resident. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So there was a small studio that I offered to dance, to teach, because I was more like, I need to do. I'm very creative. I cannot sit here because I'm going to drive myself crazy. So I offer myself, can I teach? Can I do something? So they hire me. I teach for a year. And then after that, they close. And I was not even thinking to open a studio because I had one and I knew how hard. In my no mature moment, at the moment that I had that studio, I was like, I'm not going to open a studio because I need to make money. Now I have 2 kids. Back then, I didn't have kids. They closed the studio, and a lot of people within the community were like, we need a studio because there's nothing. This is such a small town. It's only 5,000 people. Kids are devastated if there's no dance. So I was like, ooh. So I talked with my husband. I was like, let's open something small. That is we just start with something and it's a part-time thing. And all of a sudden, from my thought that it was like only 50 students, we had over 200 students. And it was like, this is bigger than we thought because it's something that I love. I always love to teach. I always love to share my knowledge. And on top of that, there's not too many opportunity here for youth. And that's become something that we thought was going to be 15 students, 200 within a year. And we're like, whoa, this is crazy. So then this is our 4th season, the 3rd year, and we have 189 students still. And it's just incredible to see. What I love the most is not even having the business part. It's just tedious and it's just seeing the changes of giving the opportunity and the knowledge that I have to these kids and seeing grow through the years. It's just like, it's addictive, right? Very addictive. And I just want to learn more so I can give them more, so I can see the successful that they are and the progress and progression. And it's just incredible. And I was thinking before we start, I was waiting for this podcast. I was like, what is that leaving the stage? It's so hard because it's so hard as a performer. The stage is everything for us. It's your life. But then my case, and this is something that I always say, you have to find something that is equivalent or almost equivalent of what that feeling is. In my case, the equivalent is sharing my knowledge to these kids and see them successful. So see them like, oh my God, I did 3 pirouettes. Oh my God. And it's like me doing 3 pirouettes because I just celebrate that. Or we going for competition and they get the first play, and it's almost the same. It's in a different way, but for me, I replace being on stage to this. And I found my way to no missing that amazing opportunity that we as a performer are. And it's scary, so scary to think what is next after this. Nothing will replace this. And I'm telling you, nothing will replace that. Absolutely. But there is things in yourself that you will find that it will. You just have to find it. And it might take time, but you just have to think while you're on stage, what is it that I feel full that is not only be on stage? And for me, always is being a teacher for kids, always. So I'm happy that I found that outlet that I feel that I can still have that power that I had on stage. It's the same power that I feel that I'm going to teach, and I feel I have my makeup, my tutu, and I'm going to nail these kids and teach them what I know. And it's so beautiful to feel that.
The passion you have for this,
I know,
the
I
center,
love
the
it.
school, it's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And the way you described how you feel on stage and what you got to find after that transition is perfect.
I do remember bowing as Arcana and knowing myself. I think, because again, I wasn't sure. I was like, I think this is it. And I only have one choice, that if I want to perform in my brain, I was like, this is the only other show that I can do. Beside that, I'm done. This is it. So that bow is the only moment that I remember that I was like, and I took everything. I took the audience. I took my coworkers. I took everything because I somehow very deep inside knew it. But I also was preparing myself within all this stage manager I did a little bit of the productions, and I was preparing myself, not knowing that I'm preparing myself, but I trying to look for other things that I like, that I was like, I'm good at this. Why I'm not going to try it? And then I feel a little bit like my other cup was filling up as this one was already filled, the other one will fill and give me a little bit of a relief of, okay, I know this is going to be hard, but I'm open another chapter and I know it's happening. Huge recommendation is find your other passion. You have one passion, you can have two. What is it? Find it, look and start preparing yourself in that passion. Even if you're performing, doesn't matter. Take that time and start building that passion. So when this finish, then you have half cup already going.
What would you recommend to someone that is interested in opening a studio? You've owned two at 24 and then now. Obviously, a lot of different skills, business, but also customer service, right? Managing all the parents, all the shows, all of the things. It's not just teaching. There's a lot going on in the back, a lot of hats. So if you could pick just a few hats, really don't want to say that because it sounds like but if there are some mistakes that you made, which you didn't, okay? You didn't make any mistakes. But if there were some mistakes at the time that you made.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Many mistakes.
Let's be real. What things would you recommend to someone so they can thrive?
Okay, so first of all, what I compared, right? I had the two studio. One, I was very young. The other one, I had a lot of experience, and I still learning, right? Doesn't matter. You're always going to have to train yourself and educate yourself. But I think, first of all, if you're going to open a studio, think about what will be the difference, because there's so many studio. There's so many, but what is the difference of your studio? What is the quality that people will say, I want to do that one because that is different? That's one. Two, authentic. Like I always say to even my kids, like, you have to be yourself. This is me, Vanessa, with an accent and still learning English. This is me. So the authentic environment in a business, doesn't matter what I say, and be honest. That's the second thing. And the third thing that I will say is like plan it. So because my previous experience, I sit down when I say, okay, this is what we want. Me, I don't know how to do a plan business but I was like, you know what? I'm going to do, what's the goal? What are the values? What is the core value? Because that create the base of who you are. So it's not scatter. It's like you create that base, and the people who come to you, they recognize this is my base, this is my values, and stick with that vision. And maybe if you don't see those values at the beginning, then you stick with it and will transform because you stick with it. And the incredible part that I did make me stay on the first studio versus this one, it was that planning. Like in the first one, I was like, let's do, okay, yeah, without thinking the consequence and money and financial. And this one, I'm very like, okay, if we do this, no overthinking, but if we do this, what is the repercussion? What gonna happen? So I feel like that's can be more successful, right? When you think it doesn't happen all the time, there's gonna be mistakes, and we learn from that. And when they happen mistake, even now, I say, I'm sorry, that was not, be honest, right? The honesty is what it gets you, because then people can come and believe in you and believe in the product, believe in your business. And that's how I run it. I'm like, this is us. Stipulate what is the difference. What's the difference that other studios don't have? And that can take a little bit, but the difference can be just your values, right? The difference can be, it's like in these studios, you come in here, you're kind. There's no bully allowed. There's no competition. We love each other. We cheer. That's it. That can be the difference. And you stipulate that from the beginning, people have to follow, because that's what we did. Come in here, we are a family. And you don't have to like each other, but you have to respect each other. Yeah. That's what.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your story. Is there anything else you want to share with someone that's looking into transitioning into another career?
You know what? I feel like the hardest part is accepting that one, you want to transition, accepting that potentially the career is over. And I don't want to say, oh, your career is over. Its opportunities are not as much as we had when we were 25, 25 or 20, whatever. As this career happened, we have less opportunity. And as we grow, then your maturity, when you have kids, life change, right? So I feel like accepting where you at is the first step. And then as you go, as I mentioned before, it's just preparing yourself for what's next. Always question what's next, what is happening. Even now, myself, what's next in the studio? What I want to go, what teacher, what I want to learn. It's always constantly, because we are growing constantly. So never feel comfortable. Never feel like I'm so comfortable, because that's when the universe is going to be like, no, comfortable. Always be ahead of the game. So it's, oh, this is smell something I'm going to start looking for. Always don't be comfortable. Don't expect that things are going to be the same way ever. And we all learned with that when COVID happened, right? That I think that's the biggest learn for everybody. You were too comfortable, and now life changed. And now what? Now you have to live and accept and move in and be adaptable in things and find your own skills and your own other passion and work for that.
Beautiful.
Yes, I have so many friends, like I call it the Puerto Rican mafia in Vegas, that we all were dancers. I think I was the first one who moved on, and then now they're start moving on. And it's so beautiful, because it's when they say, oh, it's my last show, and that's amazing. You did it. Don't be so sad. I was like, look back. You're a legend. Now you're a former dancer of Cirque du Soleil or Le Ref or whatever show. You're a former. You were part of it, right? Even with my brother, he had a hard time to the transition, right, during the COVID, and now he's building amazing stuff. And I'm like, yes, to always look for what I have done instead of, oh, I didn't do this or I didn't know, but you did. So don't look what you didn't do, because you did a lot. And you are now an inspiration for all these young artists that are coming. Because we were like, we were part of this, and then we will move on, and then another generation move on. So it's life. We just have to accept it. That's it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, my love. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you like the story, make sure to share it with a creative friend. Subscribe to this podcast and write a review so more people can access the tools shared on this platform. Follow me on my socials for more tips and tricks to navigate your career change. Until next time, I will see you in the next episode.